I was expecting that they're going to hold the 808 level, which was a pretty big overnight level. And then when they opened here and immediately fell below this, for me, it was pretty clear that they want to test the spike. But there was no slowdown, guys. I'm on 3 minutes here, and there was no slowdown during the spike, right? They came here and then basically flushed it. I got filled on a stop sell, 96 and a quarter or half. And then I targeted this level to be the first. That's where it kind of closed. And then, I mean, I kept one for a runner, and it came all the way down to the bottom. I don't know what I got, maybe 40 something for last runner here. But they give you some good range and opportunities today. If you're married to a bias where, you know, you didn't believe the levels would work. We talked about this level night before. Do you guys recall this range here? 57.43, actually posted it in Shorty's corner as well. With detail on the levels, and we said, you know, if you're to lose the 67, this 43 becomes quick. The day before that, they stopped a little bit earlier, you know, and then today they went below it. Once they reclaimed it, you know, this was good for the bulls, but is it really good? What did we do today? Just pay attention to it. Let me go 10 minutes just so we can, or was it 5? Here's your open, and you don't have to be a genius to see what type of profile you have. So if this is your, you know, this is your open here to here, this is going to be what? A lowercase b profile, right? And that means what about the longs at the top? Like, think about these guys that were sitting at the top, and then look at this. How much time did they spend in this area on the way down today?
Nothing. They dropped like a rock.
About 5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, there was, to me, it was clear something immediately, right? When you just zoom out, and if you're not familiar with seeing charts, you can switch to ASHI candles, and they'll give you a little bit better view. All right, so if you look here, for instance, I would say that this is one area, right, of consolidation, at least for me. Like, you're consolidating, you're holding it, rejecting, you went below, you're buying it, you went above, and you went to the bottom, and now you went inside. But what happened here to this range? What is the market telling you?
They're rejecting it?
Well, they're telling you that they can't find something above, right? They can't find new buyers to go above. If it was by this here, what do you think these little spikes are being triggered by? What do you guys think is this right here?
Respond to cover.
Anyone else?
Other time frame.
Okay. Anyone else?
Short cover.
Short cover, right? So think about this. You're coming to the bottom of this zone, and we talked about this. When you short in a poor location or you go long in poor location, market makers are looking to deliver a blow, right? It's almost in boxing. You don't put your hands up once, second time, and third time, you're not going to be on your feet. So here is the same scenario, right? People get in too short. This is called a crowded low. And then they tip below. And what do you think the shorts do here when they break this low? Oh my God, let me add more. I knew I was right. And then they're like, okay, well, I'll just add a little bit more. They're going to reject here. They're going to reject here, reject here. And then what happens? They break up their, you know, stop losses. And what do these people do?
To buy it up.
They basically put the fuel. It's almost like you take a can of gas and pour it in your fire pit while your wife or significant other is sitting next to you, and you're like, oh, why is the fire burning so much more? It would be fairly stupid to think that, because they're part of that push. And as soon as you get the push, what do we get next? You get the sell-off. And you get the sell-off again. You get the sell-off for a few times here. So if you pay attention to, let's say, this low and this low, I would say they're probably identical lows, right? Meaning they're equal lows being set up very close. And then just extend this here. What is the market telling you now? The equal lows became what?
Resistance.
They became the resistance. So now let me ask you a question. What does price do? What are the options for price to do? There's two things price does. What is it?
Acceptance versus rejection, or rejection?
Yeah, price can only accept or reject, right? And people overcomplicate this, right? Is it going to hold this level? Well, if you think this is acceptance here back inside, then, you can aim for long and put stop loss below and you would have been triggered. Right now, when you zoom out, where's the next support? Let's find it, right? So how about somewhere around here? Wouldn't that be the next area that we have? Because let's extend it. Same concept, just flipped. We tried to get in, then they got in and they came back to it. So then they built value here. Then they're like, okay, well, let's go next floor, see what we got. They wanted to build next floor here, but they're like, no. They went all the way down and now they're back, I'll call it floor 2, before they decide what they want to go. I did say that, 57.21 and 57 should be traded this week. They have to deliver these guys on lower highs here a pain. And they're delivering them pain. Every time we went up today or past 3 days, what do you think people did, retail did? I've seen some posts from people that I valued as decent traders that they swung longs overnight on SPY and SPX. And how do you guys think they did? Do you think they caught that on time to get out?
Not at all.
He got crushed.
No way anyone would have caught that morning and be like, oh my God, yeah, it's just a little sell-off. They probably got destroyed, right? And I'm not saying, you have to be right, but I posted something last night that should have, and I was surprised, honestly, that nobody questioned it because I wrote it as a specific sentence out. That many of you stop and think why I put this here.
Yeah, you were clarifying we're not making higher highs, we're not framing higher, we're still making lower lows while not putting in higher highs because that spike didn't make it a higher high, did it?
No, the spike didn't make a higher high. I mean, you look at this, right? What did the value area low do and value area high?
Shifted downward.
Okay. And what are the 3 components of directional performance? Who's got it?
Value area width, placement, and volume.
Yep. Okay. Well, cover them now. Value area placement overlapping to the downside while we broke the value area high of the day prior. And I also mentioned this area. Do you guys remember in chat and in the write-up why? Why is that area somewhat important?
It's like the middle of the balance, like the kind of like the PLC.
Did you guys catch this? If I put the levels, you guys just put the levels in your head and you don't conceptualize any of it. Did you guys read this? September 26th.
I read it, but it was going down, not up. Yep, I saw that.
Okay. So September 26th is this right here, right? And I said, make sure you pay attention to the value area highs of 26th, 27th, and look at the little box I drew. Why was that important?
Because you needed to get over that to be bullish.
Well, why? What makes you say that?
Change of character or acceptance higher of that range.
That
right?
was very important because then you would have been building on the top floor in a penthouse. You would have been building some value. But if you go above that and you fail, it's easy to look at this and say that you're most likely going to go, I would say, to the axis that you haven't visited. And the axis we haven't visited, let's say, put it somewhere around here, 38, which was also at the bottom of this box. A little bit lower, I guess. Right there.
Basement.
So you went to the top, you didn't like it, and you basically came to the bottom, right? This is our range that we've been in for, I don't know how many days now, since the 19th. So naturally, you can take an FVP and draw this, okay? So now, even though it looks like we're extremely bearish, are we extremely bearish just yet?
Not yet, no.
You are bearish, but
No.
you're not extremely bearish yet. Where does your bearishness really start picking up?
After we go through that gap.
Well, it's very close. Gap is one of them, but if they lose this tomorrow, let's say this 54 level, what would that mean we're doing on the weekly?
Frame it down.
Framing down. And well, how are we doing on the daily?
Framing down.
Framing down on the daily, and then if we crack this level, there's a high chance we will frame down on the weekly. And then when you guys zoom out a little bit, let's see how many of you guys checked. You know, today is the new month, October, right? Where's the low of September? $54.10, right? So a long way to challenge this. In between, you have, you know, you have the value area high, the POC, you have some, I would say, low volume area, or maybe it was a contract switch. Either way, you would have the opportunity to at least come to this area here, which is 5,400. 5,700. What did we discover on footprints about this level? You guys recall?
There was a big wall of orders.
Yeah, there was a lot of orders that were executed there, right? So most likely that they were gonna see what?
Reaction there.
It's gonna be some sort of reaction, right? And if, remember the little balloon example that I gave you, if there's a, excuse me, if there's a lot of buyers that are gonna step in at these levels, there's a high chance that they absorb all those sellers. But look at these high volume nodes. Just think, where is the next move? Is it up or down? If you're right here somewhere, I don't know where we are after hours. We're right here. So now take a look at your high volume nodes as they pop up. Look at this. You're right here. Where do you think the market is much easier to auction? Where's the path of least resistance?
Down.
Well, it probably is down, that we're going to go all the way to about 5,700. That would be the high volume node here. And then, you know, we spent a lot of time here. Did we spend a lot of volume there?
Nope.
So we spent a lot of time, but not a lot of volume. And now you're going to go there. And what validates the auction? Time or volume?
Volume.
Time.
Volume. So the odds of us bouncing at 5,700, high. Would I trust it with my 401k, put everything in there, be like, man, I'm gonna buy VU ETF and retire? That's not the level where you do that. Okay. I want to see how we react to this area here, because when you think about it, this was a pretty big area that we spent some time in. All right. I'm interested to see how do we react at the August value area high. As you come here, that would be what? We auctioned, we were dancing here, you went below, we found buyers. Now we went, what do they have to do now?
You need to hold it.
If they fail here, I will give you an opportunity to make some money and bet, if you guys would love to. I will say that we're gonna crack this low fairly soon. This will be lost.
Can you repeat that one more time?
Yeah. So we had this area here, right, where you accumulated. And this is now becoming a shift of value. We dipped below, then we found some buyers, other time frame participants stepped in. And now if they can't defend this, guarantee you that we're going to go to this area quickly, which is what, 56, 70 or so. Once you get here, there's a high chance if you don't hold this, you're breaking this low here. Why is that? Why do you guys think I say that?
I
It's
understand
never been
going.
retested.
Okay. Anyone else?
I have no idea, basically.
That's okay. Why do you think there's a higher odd to break this?
So we had a retest
And,
before,
and how did the retest do?
and we did pretty well.
Okay. Did this retest take out previous high, which was here, and build
Yeah.
comfortable value above it?
It took it out, didn't build value.
Well, if they don't hold here, that means that these buyers here are holding the candle for the market. And they're going to be there long, whoever bought ETFs or whatever their SPY, they're going to hold there, and then they're going to wait and pray that they bounce here. If these boys can't hold it here, that they accumulated and they trigger this run, well, what happens next when you lose this? Did we spend a lot of time here to cause this? You think we spent a lot of time here?
No.
No.
Not enough. Yeah. When you look here, there was a lot, right? So, but if these guys could not put in a higher high and continue this, and now if let's say we break the structure on the higher time frame, let's say weekly, I'm just going to go back and delete a bunch of these brushes. Let me just hide a bunch of stuff. So now think about it. I'm on the weekly time frame. This is the higher high. Does this look like a clean higher high right here? Does that look
Yeah.
clean? Does this look like a clean higher high where you have two hammers on the weekly?
No.
That's not a confirmed. For me, that's not a higher high just yet. You swept it. Maybe you're getting people excited. You really need to go a little bit higher than that to continue. So then you have the lower lows to worry about. You have the lower lows of 5,400 and the prior breakout sitting somewhere at 53.36, right? So you're most likely, if you can't hold these levels that we just talked about, a higher chance that you're going to be testing the lows here to make sure that the buyers are still there. The volume, I would say, is, let's see. Look at the volume as we're going up. You know, it seems like even if you take a look at this, put the value area high and low, as we're going up, what happens to the volume, value area? Of course, staying back, but now if they can hold up on the key levels, where's the value going to be revisited?
Lower.
In the middle where all that
Very
big
high.
volume is.
On the bigger time frame, you're looking at 4750s, 4800s. Right, on the big picture, right? So it's about the price and acceptance, and I would say that at this time, this week is probably the most important week for the rest of the quarter, right? How they play out October and how they enter this Q4 might drive the rest of the Q4, right? And especially now that you have a lot of, I would say, geopolitical risk happening, right? I don't know if you guys saw the news, the escalations in the Middle East. All that put together, somebody's looking for something, right? And I'm not telling you this is manipulation, but sometimes you have to create chaos to find a solution. And I guarantee you the solution is not to benefit me, you, or anyone, people that aren't normal, living the life. How many of you guys are to go to war and kill people? I mean, it's okay if you are. I'm just asking. How many of you guys would love that, to go to war and just shoot people? Most normal people don't have that idea. But when you're doing for interest of something else, then you have to create a chaos, whether it's to drop the market enough because you don't have reasons to, especially when it's owned by a handful of companies, and it has to be timed perfectly to make it work. Then it opens up a different problem with liquidity, right? And what a better way than to cause a sell-off because of potentially World War III fear-mongering is starting and people are going to bite for it. And then, you know, hell breaks loose, right? With all the missiles everywhere, left and right. So just be smart when you're looking at this, especially when you're trading for a longer term. If you're swinging SPY puts or calls, I would say, you know, especially if you start this weekly time framing down, you're more inclined for downside than upside. So just, I would say heads up on that. Okay, let me just see all the brushes.
Definitely seems like they're creating a lot of drama right now. A lot of chaos.
Yeah. They're doing a pretty good job. Just FYI, overnight traders is 57.85 level will be somewhat important for overnight. If they decide to crack this 70, most likely you can catch 15 points. So I would definitely short here. All right, so for tomorrow, what do you guys want to see? Let me go back to regular. I'm going to hide some stuff here. All right, somebody tell me, what are the levels we're watching for tomorrow?
They need to hold the value low from today.
Okay. If they don't want a disaster, I would agree with that. And it's somewhere around 40, right? I think saving that line. So 40.5 is the value area low. Why? This level just became super important. Do you guys see it? Let me hide the candles. It became even bigger, more important zone now than ever. Do you guys see it? We had this marked zone as very important zone. But now, didn't we talk about the similar setup that we had not too long ago where we talked about value area highs and these overlapping? Do you guys recall that?
Yep.
Yeah,
Didn't we-
and today's
didn't we
value
talk about it
highs.
on the weekly? Didn't we cover that just on Sunday?
Yeah.
Where we said that there was something like this here, right? Here, do you guys remember this? Value area high and the value area low, which was our key level. Now let's take a look at it on the daily. What about the daily? Do you see it?
There's a gap between them now.
Yeah, I mean, just a few points, 71 to 75, but there's a shift in the value, and that shift becomes key for acceptance and the rejection. Right, so, and we know that this level here was the weekly same setup from the week before. So this zone here becomes very important. I would probably wait till we reclaim at least 75 before I would get somewhat excited, right? If we break the value area high, that doesn't mean you're what? Accepted in another value area low. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yes.
So I would wait for this level to be established higher and before I consider any long. So maybe even, what is it, 75. If we can clean that 75, that would be great. And be aware of the FVP that I just deleted, right? This level is sitting at 78. So if you think I would take a long here, I'm not naive enough to take this long here. What do you think I should do?
Look above and fail.
Well, I want to see them look above and fail, but if I want a long, my odds are better if they
Oh, the retest, yeah.
above this and give me this target here and give me this target here. I'm not going to make a living off of 2 points and potential quick stop loss, right? So I would not necessarily take a long here, but it would give me a little bit of a bullish bias that we are above this level, if that makes sense. And then above this, I don't know how many days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days POC. I would target this, first, I guess, sitting at spike base of Friday or Monday, I'm sorry. Okay. Does that make sense to everyone? The same pattern is repeating. I mentioned a few times that this has occurred now. There's one here, right? So it's been happening, and it's a pretty good pattern for you guys to start recognizing. On the weekly, it really becomes a key level, and that's why we, I guess, marked it. And how many times they came back to this zone and retested, and you could have maybe taken a short twice, 3 times. Here, you had a nice opportunity here, and then even the loss here, towards the end of the day, This was pretty clean. I don't know if you guys paid attention to it, but here's this. What are they telling you here? I mean, look at the wicks I'm on 5 minutes. Look at the wicks on the top. The auction keeps stopping, right? I mean, you have a massive access high now sitting at the top. So if you're a bull, you know, you eventually want to be above this access high, which was that 85 level, 86 level. Does everybody know why that level? Just a POC, guys. Now look at this. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Came back underneath. Is not worth drawing a zone here. You're supporting at the POC. Then when you went below, you reclaim. Here you went above value area high, you lost it, and now you're below the day prior POC. The only thing that I don't like on this close is what? If you guys can figure this one out, I will be impressed. What do I not like about the close today?
The lowercase b shape.
I love the lowercase b. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would like for some downside.
That it closed within the value area.
Oh, you're very close. Anyone else? And
But
that's
we
one of
closed
them.
The POC?
That's another one. Give me the third one. Whoever gets this one, you're special.
The volume.
Okay, where do we close in relation to yesterday's low?
At the tail.
Yeah, if they're so confident and they're short, wouldn't it be better if they closed here?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and we did not close that. If anyone's bored, I'd like for you to do this and see how many times did a day where we put in a break the previous day low and we closed above it. Let's, for instance, take a look here. Where did this day close? We opened below it, we auctioned there, and we closed above it. And you can go, and they've been doing this for here, close above. It's just a little pattern that you have to notice that what they're doing. So tomorrow, let's say they decide to change the behavior. What is that behavior change? Let me give you a hint. Why did I say that this would be potentially behavior change?
Well, they close below that level.
We want them to close below this level, guys. We keep putting in right here. You put in a lower high and a lower low. Is that bullish or bearish?
Bearish.
Yeah, bearish. You have a lower high, a lower low, clean. Only if you would have closed below this, it would have made me swing some puts, but you did not. So tomorrow, again, I don't know if there's any news or volatility, but you know, the levels that we identified would be very, very important. If they can't reclaim this level, I would say the previous day zone that we said here, be more bearish than bullish. And then let's say they crack this 54, there's a high chance that most likely we're going to visit here, right? The 40 to 38-ish level. And then ideally, if they continue the selling, right, we're in a B, lowercase b profile, we should see this low taken out early in the morning. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yeah.
Don't look to be a hero to catch the bottom. There will be a bounce here. We will most likely auction here tomorrow. So I'll be on in the morning. I'll trade. I won't trade pre-market, so I'm not done with the day as you guys get on and wake up. I'll wait for you guys to get on, and then we'll take some trades live.
Awesome. Thanks, Shorty.
All right, thanks, Shorty.
All right, guys. Have a good night. See ya. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.